In every human life, there are four unavoidable stages that quietly shape our destiny, sculpting both our failures and our moments of greatness, whether we notice them or not. This story begins with a simple idea: growth never happens by accident. It happens when life pushes us through these stages, forcing us to evolve. Imagine a person standing at the beginning of their journey, unaware that everything they will ever achieve, every dream, every victory, every transformation, will depend on how they move through these four gates. The first stage arrives when the world suddenly stops making sense. A plan fails, a belief collapses, life gives an unexpected blow, and we are left asking, why is this happening to me? This moment of confusion is not a mistake, it is the universe's first invitation to grow. It strips away certainty so that something new can be built. But most people fear this stage. They resist, they blame, they hide. Yet those who dare to stay awake inside confusion begin to sense a quiet truth: discomfort is not the enemy, it is the beginning. Confusion shakes the foundation, removes illusions, and makes space for the next version of you. Without this stage, nothing great can ever begin. It is the moment that forces us to see ourselves honestly, and honesty is the doorway to transformation. The second stage appears when the confusion settles just enough for a new awareness to emerge. Suddenly you begin to understand what was previously hidden. You realize why things fell apart, why certain people left, why some doors closed, and why the struggle was necessary. Awareness arrives like light moving through a crack in the wall, slow at first, then unstoppable. In this stage, people often feel both inspired and overwhelmed because they finally see what must change. The habits that hold them back. The patterns that keep repeating. The fears that dictate their decisions. The relationships that drain their energy. Awareness is powerful because it removes excuses. This is where you start building new habits, setting new boundaries, removing toxic influences, letting go of old identities, and choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. Alignment requires you to walk into the unknown. It demands that you trust the process even when the results are not visible yet. In this stage, every day feels like a test. You lose motivation, then find it again. You feel alone, then connected, then lost again. You question yourself, your decisions, your path. But slowly, almost invisibly, the small actions begin to add up. A bit more strength. A bit more confidence. A bit more clarity. You start noticing that you are no longer reacting to life the same way. You become calmer, more intentional, more focused. Alignment is the stage that separates dreamers from achievers. Those who commit daily, even when they feel like giving up, are the ones who rise above their old limitations. Every small step becomes a silent promise to your future self. The fourth stage is transformation, the moment when all the confusion, awareness, and alignment begin to unfold into visible change. Transformation is not a sudden event, it is the natural result of everything you endured. People around you start noticing the difference. Your energy changes, your decisions change, and your opportunities change. Suddenly, the things that once felt impossible become normal. You begin attracting better relationships, new ideas, clearer goals, and more meaningful experiences. This stage is a reward, but it is also a beginning. Transformation shows you what you are truly capable of. It is the stage where confidence grows from action, not from words. Where dreams turn into plans. Where life responds to your growth by opening doors you never imagined. But transformation is not the end. It is simply the new baseline from which the next cycle begins. Because life will always invite you into higher versions of yourself through new challenges, new uncertainties, and new opportunities. The four stages repeat, but each time you move through them, you rise to a new level. This is the rhythm of growth. Now imagine a young person named Zion, standing at the beginning of his journey. He believed success was about talent, luck, or opportunity. He thought people who achieved greatness were somehow born different. But then life hit him with the first stage, confusion. A dream he worked on for years suddenly collapsed. For the first time, he recognized that success was not about avoiding problems but about learning from them. With this awareness, he stepped into alignment. He cut off distractions, built new routines, and committed to small daily improvements. He failed, restarted, failed again, and learned. And eventually, transformation arrived. He became the kind of person he once admired. His confidence grew, his opportunities multiplied, and his purpose became clear. But Zion's story is not unique. It is the story of every person who has ever grown, overcome, or evolved. These 4 stages are universal. They happen whether you believe in them or not. Whether you are trying to improve your career, relationships, mindset, health, or identity, you will pass through confusion, awareness, alignment, and transformation. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is simple. Successful people move through the stages consciously, while others repeat them unconsciously. Successful people understand that confusion is not failure. It is a signal. They understand that awareness is useless without action. They know that alignment is uncomfortable but necessary. And they trust that transformation is always on the other side of persistence. These individuals learn how to rise every time life pushes them down. They become unstoppable not because life becomes easier, but because they become stronger. Their mindset changes from "why is this happening to me" to "what is this teaching me?" And that single shift creates a ripple effect that transforms their entire life path. Now imagine yourself moving through these stages. Think about the moments of confusion you feared, the truths you avoided, the changes you postponed, and the dreams you delayed. What if every challenge you faced was actually preparation? What if the failures you experienced were setting you up for a version of yourself you couldn't yet see? The 4 stages are not punishments, they are blueprints. Every person who has built a meaningful life has walked through them. And the moment you accept them instead of resisting them, life starts working with you instead of against you. You stop fearing the unknown and start embracing it as part of the process. You stop waiting for perfect timing and begin acting with courage. You stop clinging to old versions of yourself and start stepping into new ones. Growth is not a destination, it is a cycle. And the more consciously you move through the cycle, the more powerful your life becomes. Every stage gives you exactly what you need, even when it does not feel like it. That is the hidden truth behind success. And so the story ends where your story begins. You stand at the threshold of the next stage of your life, whether you know it or not. Perhaps you are in confusion right now, trying to understand why things are changing. Perhaps you are in awareness, finally seeing the truth. Perhaps you are in alignment, pushing through the difficult, uncomfortable steps. Or perhaps you are in transformation, beginning to experience the rewards. Wherever you are, remember this: you are exactly where you need to be. Do not rush the process. Do not fear the discomfort. Do not underestimate your power to change. Life is not testing you, it is shaping you. Every failure, every setback, every breakthrough is carving you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. The 4 stages are not just part of your story, they are the structure of your evolution. And if you trust the process, stay resilient, and continue moving forward, you will rise into a version of yourself you never thought possible. This is your journey. This is your growth. This is your transformation waiting to unfold.